the mouse, the monkey, and the sleeping tiger. Good evening, little adventurers. Are you all snug in your beds, ready for a magical journey? Tonight, we're going to visit a place where the trees touch the sky and the animals talk and play just like you and me. So close your eyes, well, maybe keep them open just a bit, and let's step into the enchanting world of the magical jungle. Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, there was a jungle filled with the most amazing creatures you could ever imagine. But tonight, we're going to meet three very special friends: Tiny the mouse, Momo the monkey, and the majestic sleeping tiger. Are you ready to hear their story? Setting the scene, the magical jungle. In the heart of the world lay the magical jungle, a place where every leaf whispered secrets and every flower giggled with delight. The trees were so tall that even the giraffes got neck ache looking up. Birds of every color filled the sky, making it look like a big rainbow had splashed across the blue. Animals of all kinds lived here in harmony. Elephants trumpeted hellos to the butterflies, and the ants had picnics with the anteaters, though that could get a bit awkward. The air was filled with the scent of sweet fruits and the soft melody of nature's lullaby. It was a place where every day was a new adventure waiting to happen. Introducing Tiny the mouse. Meet Tiny the mouse. Don't let his name fool you. His heart was anything but small. With ears almost bigger than himself and whiskers that twitched at the slightest sound, Tiny was the bravest little mouse you could ever meet. He loved to explore every nook and cranny of the jungle, always on the hunt for a new adventure or a nice piece of cheese. Though, in the jungle, cheese was a bit hard to come by. "Maybe one day I'll find the legendary jungle cheese," he'd say, much to the amusement of his friends. Introducing Momo the monkey. And up above swung Momo the monkey. With a tail longer than a bedtime story and a grin that could melt the coldest coconut, Momo was the life of the jungle party. He spent his days playing tricks, telling jokes, and searching for the ripest bananas. He was a bit of a banana connoisseur, you see. One time, he tried to teach Tiny how to swing from the vines. Let's just say it didn't end well for the vine, or Tiny's breakfast. Despite their differences, Tiny and Momo were the best of friends. They laughed together, played together, and always had each other's backs, especially when Momo hid Tiny in his fur during hide and seek. The sleeping tiger. Now, in the very center of the jungle lived the majestic tiger, known to all as the king of the jungle. With stripes as bright as the sunrise and a purr that could shake the trees, he was both respected and admired by all the animals. But there was one golden rule: never disturb the tiger while he slept. He needed his beauty sleep to keep those stripes shining, after all. The animals tiptoed around his den, whispering and giggling quietly. The last time someone woke him up, he grumpily declared it was too early for roaring, and went back to snoozing. The adventure begins. One starry night, Tiny gazed up at the sky and said, "Momo, have you heard about the legendary golden mango? They say it can grant the deepest wish of your heart." Momo's eyes sparkled brighter than the stars. "Imagine all the bananas I could wish for. A never-ending banana buffet. Let's go find it." And so, with a tiny backpack packed with crumbs and a large sack filled with bananas, guess who brought that? The duo set off at the crack of dawn. "This is going to be the greatest adventure ever," exclaimed Momo. Tiny chuckled. "As long as we don't run into any grumpy tigers needing a nap." They shared a laugh, completely unaware of the journey that awaited them. Crossing the river. Before long, they reached the great river. "Well, that's a lot of water," Tiny squeaked. Momo scratched his head. "If only we had a boat, or maybe a really big duck." Just then, they heard a croak. A family of frogs was gathered by the riverbank, looking quite distressed. "What's wrong?" Tiny asked. Papa Frog sighed. "Our lily pad boat is stuck, and we can't get across to our lily pad picnic." Never ones to turn away from helping, Tiny and Momo put their heads together. Literally, there was a small collision, and came up with a plan. Using stones and fallen logs, they built a bridge. "Look! A croak crossing," Momo joked. The frogs hopped across happily, inviting them to the picnic. Wish we could, but we've got a golden mango to catch. Tiny replied. The frogs waved them off. Good luck, and watch out for the fish that tickles toes. As they crossed, Momo suddenly giggled uncontrollably. What's so funny? Tiny asked. Something's tickling my toes, he laughed. Tiny felt it too and couldn't help but giggle. It seemed the fish just wanted to say hello. The dark forest. On the other side of the river lay the dark forest. Well, this doesn't look ominous at all, Tiny gulped. Don't worry, buddy. I've got a flashlight, somewhere. Momo said, rummaging through his sack, pulling out bananas, more bananas, and, surprise, a banana. Ah, no flashlight, but at least we won't go hungry. Tiny rolled his eyes playfully. As they ventured deeper, strange noises echoed around them. Did you hear that? Tiny whispered. Relax, it's probably just the wind, or a ghost. Momo teased, wiggling his fingers. Tiny chuckled nervously. Suddenly, a shadow swooped over them. Eek! They both yelped. It turned out to be Wise Old Owl. Who goes there? She hooted. Just us, Tiny and Momo, they replied. Be careful, little ones. The forest can play tricks on you, she warned before flapping away. Taking a deep breath, they held hands, or rather, paw and tail, and marched forward. At least if something scares us, we can scare it back with our terrible singing. Momo joked. Hey, my singing isn't that bad. Tiny protested. They both laughed, feeling braver together. The tiger awakens. Phew! Out of the spooky forest and into. Wait, where are we? Tiny wondered. Momo looked around, I think where, but before he could finish, a loud yawn echoed through the air. They froze. Oh, they whispered in unison. From the shadows emerged the sleeping tiger, now very much awake. He stretched his massive paws and blinked his golden eyes. Who dares disturb my slumber? He rumbled. Tiny gulped. Sorry, Mr. Tiger, sir. We didn't mean to wake you. Momo nodded vigorously, bananas tumbling out of his sack. One banana rolled over and bumped into the tiger's paw. The tiger looked down at the banana and then back at them. Are you offering me a banana? He asked. Momo squeaked. Well, it's more of a peace offering. Plus, they're high in potassium. For a moment, silence hung in the air like a cloud. Then, to their surprise, the tiger chuckled. It's been a while since someone made me laugh, he admitted. Meeting the tiger. Gathering courage, Tiny stepped forward. We're on a quest to find the golden mango to make a wish for everyone in the jungle, he explained. The tiger raised an eyebrow. A wish for everyone? Not just for yourselves? Momo shook his head. Well, I did think about a banana trampoline, but Tiny convinced me otherwise. The tiger smiled, a sight that was both reassuring and a little bit scary due to all those teeth. You two have brave hearts, he said. Most creatures run away from me, especially after I've had my nap interrupted. Tiny shrugged. Everyone deserves kindness, even grumpy tigers who need naps. Momo added, plus, you look like you could use an adventure. Surprised and amused, the tiger nodded. Perhaps I do. It's been ages since I've had a good stroll. May I join your quest? Tiny and Momo glanced at each other with excitement. Absolutely, they chimed. After all, who wouldn't want the king of the jungle by their side? The golden mango. With the tiger leading the way, they traversed paths they never knew existed. Finally, they reached a hidden grove bathed in a golden glow. There it is, whispered the tiger. The golden mango tree stood tall, its branches heavy with shimmering fruit. It's beautiful. Tiny gasped. Momo's eyes were as wide as coconuts. I wonder if it tastes like banana, he mused. The tiger chuckled, only one way to find out. But before grabbing a mango, Tiny said, let's make our wish together. They all nodded, each placing a paw or hand on the golden fruit. Closing their eyes, they made a heartfelt wish. We wish for happiness, health, and harmony for all the creatures of the jungle. A warm light enveloped them, and for a moment, it felt like the whole jungle was hugging them back. When they opened their eyes, the golden mango had vanished, but they felt different, in a good way. Did it work? Momo asked. Suddenly, sounds of joy echoed through the jungle. Birds sang sweeter, the river sparkled brighter, and even the sun seemed to shine with extra warmth. The tiger smiled softly. I believe it did. Tiny grinned. Looks like no banana trampoline, but something tells me this is even better. Momo laughed. Maybe just as good. Maybe. The lesson learned. As they made their way back home, the trio reflected on their journey. You know, Tiny began. Today we learned that courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about doing what's right even when you are. Momo nodded, and that sometimes, help comes from the most unexpected places, like a big old tiger who snores louder than thunder. The tiger chuckled. I do not snore that loudly. They all laughed, feeling the bonds of friendship stronger than ever. It's amazing what we can accomplish when we work together, the tiger mused. Maybe I should take fewer naps and have more adventures. Tiny smiled. The jungle is full of surprises waiting to be discovered. Momo added with a wink, and bananas waiting to be eaten. When they returned, the jungle was abuzz with excitement. Word of their journey had spread like wildfire, or like gossip at the watering hole. Animals big and small gathered around as Tiny, Momo, and the tiger shared their tale. There was laughter, gasps, and even a few happy tears. From this day on, the tiger announced, let us all share in the spirit of adventure, friendship, and courage. There was a great cheer, and the jungle celebrated with the biggest feast anyone could remember. Even the stars came out early to join the party. As the night grew late, Tiny and Momo settled down under the sparkling sky. What a day, Tiny yawned. Momo nodded sleepily, the best day ever. The tiger gently covered them with a big leaf to keep them warm. Good night, my friends, he whispered. And so, dear ones, ends the tale of Tiny, Momo, and the sleeping tiger. A story of bravery, friendship, and the magic that happens when we believe in each other. As you close your eyes tonight, remember that you, too, can find adventure and kindness in the most unexpected places. Sweet dreams.